Hello and welcome back to my mapping series. So today, two things we are going to do. First of all, we're going to make the very rudimentary German main base here, which basically will just be a truck stuck in the snow where you can get pickup kits. Because I don't want to make an actual camp, I don't really like that most of the time. When I make a main base, usually it's just a bunch of tanks on the road that just appeared as reinforcements and then you drive them on, you know. And yeah, because otherwise to me it always looks gamey and kind of vanilla. So let's place a truck. I don't think we have a winter version of the Opel Blitz as a rack, or rather as a static version, although we might have. But if we do it probably from the Ardennes, so it's not really correct, like the skin is not correct for this era, because it would be yellow with whitewash, not grey with whitewash, which is what we need. So that skin probably has to be made later, but we don't have to care about that right now. Let's take that. So these can be, if you don't know how they are set up, they can actually be kind of tricky to use, or to place rather. I wanted to be here in this little clearing, like I tried to drive off-road and kind of got stuck in the snow, so there's this little, not clearing, but this little vegetation-free area, and this is where the Stuks will spawn on the road, and then infantry spawns in here as well as, like maybe in this area as well, so you have a bit more options as infantry. But okay, these can be a bit tricky to place. They consist of several different statics that you don't have to use all together. Like for example, you can leave out the canvas and so on. It's kind of a modular thing. So back to our open. Alright, so we will use C3 to build our static. The easiest way to do it is to do it similar to how you put together stone walls. You copy over all the what's it called? All the positional data, and it will basically assemble itself. One more, well, two more. And finally the X. Boom. And it's assembled without any kind of trying around. Now you can of course change where the backplate here, what is that called? Backdoor is and stuff like that, but I don't think that's necessary. Then you just select it all and move it as one object. And that's basically how you place those. So, where could we... Let's place it a bit here. It can be tricky to get these level to the ground if the ground isn't completely flat. Now in this case, due to the snow, we want to have it sunk in a little bit anyway, so who cares? The best way to do it usually is put the pivot down like this and then just orient yourself using the wheels. So this is about correct, and then you just have to try around a little bit so that it's level. I think this is actually already kind of okay. We will even sink it in more, then we will edit the terrain around it to make it look really broken down. And yeah, you probably shouldn't off-road those in snow in Russia in 1942. Now we will just edit the snow so it's piled up around a bit. Later we can also maybe add like a toolbox or something, or something else to make it look like they try to get it out. You know, have the snow piled up here a bit. Okay, and this has, yeah, you see now this needs to be piled up as well. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this has two functions. For one thing, it kind of tells a story in the sense of how did this car get ditched or this truck get ditched. More importantly though, it also shows to the players that this is not in fact an actual truck that you can use. You always need to have something that communicates to the player, this is not for you, this is just to look at and take cover bind, and maybe there's like pickup kits there, stuff like that. Now one thing to note here as well is that we will obviously add boxes and stuff like that later, and we also will, oh yeah, we need to paint the disturbed snow texture around it. Okay. After that, our next task will be the roads. Now we already have our basic road network there, but I want to actually make it look good now, and also, oops, detail texture mode, and also fix the bugs that we introduced by, for example, placing the bridge and placing damaged areas on the road, because now it doesn't really fit with our old road network anymore. And we will finally make it kind of look good, meaning we will use the textures or will make new textures for it. Well, not really, I don't think I will make new textures, but we will actually blend in the roads properly. And here we go. So that is our truck that marks the German main base in addition to the spawn points later. Let's save. And alright, back to the roads. So we have two types of roads, and I will probably leave it at that actually. And the big one here we will just leave with this texture, or maybe later we will make a new one, but I think this kind of texture is actually quite good for that. What we need to do now with the big road is obviously this stuff that needs to be fixed. So we will create a new stretch for here using the same road texture, and we will just trace it. I don't think, and I might be wrong here, I don't do that much with roads, but I don't think you can split this line somehow, right? You can create an intersection, but you can't just make a new one. Okay. I mean, well, maybe there was an option, who knows, I might have missed it all these years. Okay, so I'm going to do opmas main. And just place it as we did before, create new spline. And then we just completely trace the road that's already there. And for now we will leave it here. And in fact, to make it a bit easier, render toggle draw roads. Where is that? Toggle draw roads, and boom, switch it off. That way it doesn't get in the way as much. Just gonna trace the old road. Still in the OOP area. And getting to the end, this is the last one that will have I had it fucked up. Why does it do that in this case? One sec. Okay, that looks a bit better. And then a last one here. Done and done. Connect, and we're gonna call that main new and main new 1. Okay. Then we will start the next one here, because we have to restart after the what's it called, after the damaged section. Add control point, add one here, and let's carry on. Oh, that's a long stretch. And here's the next damaged section, add control point here, and a last one here. Connect, main new 2. And this stretch we will just leave, create new spline. By now you should see the pattern. And this is probably the last one, right? I mean, not like the last thing, you know what I mean. This is the last stretch of road that we What the fuck's going on? What did I do wrong there? Actually, it might not be wrong, one sec. If I put one here now, does it fuck up? No, okay, it wasn't wrong. Yeah, fine. And then the last one's over here. PowerPoint, connect, main and U3. Okay, so this was the only place where we used that main road texture. So what we do next then, of course, is we select the old one and delete it. Main 1, you're not needed anymore, your services are not needed anymore. Done. Then, just to check it out, toggle draw roads back on, and here we go. Now we could do like build final roads, but we do that later. But for now that should be fine. Of course there's now some glitches, but that is, as I said. One second, why is it doubled up? No, okay, never mind. No, wait. Why is that still there? That's actually kind of weird. We deleted the main road 1, right? Okay. Actually kind of scared now. Let's save. Okay, let's ignore that for now because the texture isn't there anymore. And the correct textures are there. Okay, so most of the path I think we can leave, but here's one that's damaged, and also it has been damaged in several places and then cut by the trench as well. And also, if you think about it, probably, since this is the front, it probably although I guess we will do that even though it's technically unrealistic, but I guess you would say in reality there probably wouldn't be a path directly from the Russians to the Germans because it's war. But in the interest of proper gameplay and flow, I think we will just leave it for now. Where's the stupid road thing? There we go. Okay, let's remake these, and for that of course I will speed it up again. Alright, that's done. So, I've decided, right now I'm using this texture as a placeholder, which to me looks more like it's either like a forest path, like it would fit better in a forest, or maybe for a map with a bit less snow cover. So what I'm gonna do now is change the road template to use a different texture. And I decided to make it look like these paths, like you can't actually see the original like field path. The only exception is this road, which is used by vehicles and is one of the main kind of areas where people move. But for the smaller ones, I decided it's probably better to... What the fuck is that? Fucking road. We'll deal with that later. But for the smaller ones, I think it would be better to look like it's where people ran through the snow or moved through the snow and kind of disturbed it. So in order to get that effect, as I said, I'm trying something else, and I'm trying to do that by having two things. First of all, a different texture, different primary texture layer. So at the moment FH pairs snow. I think we have one that's like, why is this fucking road tool? I think we have one that's color textures. Are you kidding me? What the fuck's going on right now? Why is there a color texture fucking menu popping up? Are you kidding me? The editor is so weird right now. Nah, no, show nothing. How do I get rid of that? What the fuck? Cunt editor. I hate it when things that should just work don't. Okay. Since there seems to be some shenanigans going on, I'm gonna save and restart the editor. 1 sec. Alright, next try. We're in the road tool. So, road templates, op mask, path, primary fucking texture layer. No, don't fuck me on this, you piece of shit. And it doesn't. Nice. So we're using the FH path snow right now. I think we have one that is basically snow that's disturbed by like footprints. I think we have one, yeah. Nordwind footprint frozen. I think I may have to restart the editor again for it to be actually applied, or maybe I have to resave it. Road templates and roads, resave both. Let's see what happens in that case. Yeah, okay, fuck you. Alright, okay, so I have to restart the editor again. Great stuff. 1 sec. And we are back. And here we go. So, this does look cool. What we have to do next, so we have this disturbed snow texture, you know, and now I have to paint the disturbed snow detail texture under it. So that's gonna be a bit boring, and I will speed it up again. Basically just have to paint it under all instances of this. Once I'm done with that, it will get even a bit more boring, because then I will add these paths to all the insides of the trenches, following the rough trench outline here, because, you know, the Germans ran around in there. And then I will also paint the other footprint, or I will fill the last detail texture slot with the footprint texture and also paint that in some important areas. 1 second, I have to set the min cull distance higher so things don't pop in for some reason that annoys me. Here we go. Okay, so let's speed it up. Okay, I hope I didn't miss anything there. So what I will do next is add the same type of footpath here in the trenches. Although I think in the trenches I might actually not add the blue texture under it to make it look a bit different from these paths that were recently kind of walked into the high snow. So it looks a bit different in the trenches, but yeah, I want these foot paths in there. After that I will paint mud where there will be a bunker, and the new 6 texture slot at the entrance of trenches and in like big areas like this, in order to make it look like the snow there was disturbed by footprints. So I'm doing that now. So that's done as well. Now we can finally fill out the last texture slot that we never used. Wait, what the fuck? Where's the tweak thing? One sec. What is up with the editor these days? One second. There, so there it is. Layer 6, and this will be footprints in the snow, which we will paint in the trenches as well, around open areas where the Germans might have run around a lot. Let's see if we can find it. Lots of textures, most of them useless for us. Garmisch footprints, yep, let's use that one. And what is a nice color for that? Green. Green footprints. Oh, you know what? Yellow. Never eat the yellow snow. Okay. So, and of course, material snow. And here we go, load detail map. One ski. And yeah. And now we can paint that like any other texture. Also color. And we'll start We'll start at the basement area because that one isn't completely finished texture-wise anyway. So the way I want to use that is for this area here. There would be a lot of foot traffic, and there's still you know, okay, the tiling has to be a bit smaller, I think. Put that to 64. Yep, that seems about the right size. So put that in these areas where we have a lot of foot traffic, but it's still open to the clouds, basically, as well as here. And then here to bridge the gap. Okay, and then below that we can put the dirt mud texture, because no snow can fall, because there's a ceiling. Okay. Kind of looking forward to placing, or to really finishing this area with details as well. Maybe make a little ammunition area and then a little sleeping area. I mean, there's the overall space that I have here is limited, obviously. So I have to be careful about it, but you know, a few like military beds in here, stuff like that. Just realized this texture has like a that looks like it was from a tire, right? So probably need to use a different one. Although it might be from something else as well. Alright, so, and we will do that with the rest of the trenches as well. Okay, so with that, I would say I might have missed an area or two, but we can always, fix that later. But I think I got most of them. So with that, the major object placement phase is basically done, unless we might have to change some things here and there later. So what we will do next is getting the map into a game and actually being able to run around on it. So look forward to that. As always, thanks for watching and have a nice day.